Um, this is Margaret in Windsor. That's my real name. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 1941 and brought to Moulton, Alabama in 41. I was born in 39 in London. And Joe Kennedy was ambassador to London or to England back then, 36 to 46. And Roosevelt was his friend and had appointed him ambassador to England. He and my uncle George VI, who was installed by the American government, and Rockefellers and Rothschilds, and members of the New World Order, who are Jewish, a lot of them. They were responsible for my kidnapping and being brought to Moulton. And given the name of Peggy Ann Dempsey, I married a Childers. Both twins, Peggy and Carl, were actually dead. They had been killed by their mother, Lina Dempsey. And I grew up being told that my name was Peggy, and I still have to use that name unless I can get the return of my name. My father, King Edward VIII, was taken down illegally. He was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, American sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe. So this was a mass cover-up, takedown, kidnapping, and 99 years still put on it. Now then, over the years, I found out in 83 about my kidnapping, my real name, my Margaret N. Windsor, but Victoria II, the legal heir, and I am to the British Crown. Elizabeth sits there, and it's been a massive cover-up, and what they have done to me in this country, and my own family has sit by and watched it, and evidently some of them, not just Elizabeth and my uncle, have participated in my what's happened to me. What I want to say is I have put it on video the last few months about my kidnapping. I also was involved, if you want to say involved, in writing a medical malpractice book back in 77, 78 about mind control and programming. Larry McDonald was a doctor, U.S. congressman from Atlanta I wrote about, and his plane was actually in 83 shot down by the Soviets. It was a KAL Korean jetliner, and from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea, and I was a candidate and flown out to Larry Flint, who had been shot by a person that was programmed to shoot him in Lawrenceville, Georgia, which was near me in Marietta, March the 6th, 78. And I give you that as a little background of what I'm saying now. On this tape, I've put it on others. I have spoken and shown the best I could of the laws that have been broken and done, the horrific crimes done to me and my sons, Mark and Scott, here in this country. It's been done in plain sight. Now then, Eric Holder, the Attorney General, was here in Roanoke yesterday afternoon, I believe. Today's Friday, so that would be Thursday, January the, 23rd, or I believe, the 24th. I'm confused on the 23rd and 24th. Today's Friday. He was here yesterday. I wonder if the media in Roanoke or any of these congressmen that, yes, they do know, at the state level they have for a long, long time, not just about my kidnapping and my real name, but about the mind control murders. Which involves Sandy Hook, Aurora, Colorado. There's a long list, Tucson, Arizona. But this goes way, way back before I did the book in 77, that mind control has been used. So I was involved in writing and telling the truth about that, finding out about my kidnapping, and then specifically things that were done. I've been made to not have a place to stay, live on the Appalachian Trail, freeze, starve, you name it, for years. And then when I did get a little funds to try to get a place to live. I lived in Section 8 housing, which it involves federal government and what happened. Well, all of it does, but specifically Edinburgh, Richfield, and Joseph's Dream out of Bedford. Now then, the torture of me and my kids and the laws broken is so horrendous. And to hear Eric Holder, and I think he said it yesterday when I just saw it on CNN, talking about Edward Snowden for telling the truth. What Edward Snowden told is just a touch of the iceberg of what's really going on. The mind control is really the horrific crime. And let me say this: I'm not taking away from Edward Snowden, Eric. Oh boy, the name game. But he either had to be programmed to be able to go in there and bring out the information and go on the route he traveled, or he was specifically gotten to and told to do it. Either way, it's horrific crime, and it really the top of the list is the mind control. Because it's been unleashed for a long time, and you don't have any protection. No one talks about it, and yet if you go back in time in '53, it was taken before Congress and a slap on the wrist, and it was MK Ultra. Now then, it's so widespread now, but the agencies are using it, and I'm going to stop on that. I've already put it in. I got a letter from the FBI about. I thought it was about the book, and it was the 23rd of June of '79, and William Harper, U.S. attorney from federal attorney from Atlanta. I got a letter from him saying that it was an ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, it's been ongoing, the crimes committed against me, for number one, and this is just one. On April Fool Day, after I got the letter in '79 from the FBI, April Fool Day of '80, I was filled full of antifreeze and should have died. Nothing has been done about the ongoing crimes committed against me and my sons, Mark and Scott. I have no idea if they're alive or dead. They're heir to the crown after me. So if you could line up the systematic crimes against me and my sons and my mom and dad, who never got to bring me home, and against my country, the British, the UK, and the Germans, and there's been some Americans that tried to help. But let me say this. The crimes that I've spoken about, a lot of them, the mind control has been done against Americans who seem oblivious. Your press is controlled by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, your Illuminati, your Freemasons, the very ones that kidnapped me and took down my father. They control your press. There have been options open to all the Americans. The crimes are being committed by the press who refuse to tell the truth. This is just one, the media that I'm naming right at the moment. They do not tell the truth. They've known about my kidnapping. They've known about mind control a long time before I found out. So they're the ones at fault, and they should be held accountable for it. Not Edward Snowden, who told the truth, what the press should be telling. And by the way, I've told the truth. I've faxed it. I have crawled when I had no money. I was kept penniless. I have videoed it. And people hate you for telling the truth. I'd like to ask if any of the media or any of the people around here in Roanoke or the surrounding area or Virginia address this to Eric Holder. First of all, I'm sure he already knows, but the very idea of him saying that Edward Snowden should be prosecuted for telling the truth about the grave crimes this country has and is committing. Hey, he doesn't address the mind control murders and the use of it. The press doesn't. They sound innocent and oblivious to it all. So they lie.